Well, hello there. Today we're going to be talking about my favourite top 8 board games that you can play as a solo player. Now, the reason why it's so important for me to have games that are for one player and up is because most of the time you can't find someone to play with. Everything nowadays is online. And finding a club that's local can be very difficult, and people don't want to play the games you want to play, like Warhammer. There'll be other people wanting to play something else. So having a single player game is absolutely fantastic for us people that have a lot of time where we want to play the games but we just can't find the people to play with, and it's not because we're sad people staying at home, it's because we just can't find anybody to play these games with, and this is a serious problem with so many gamers. Now, we all love painting the miniatures, but when you've got no one to play with, you end up just having all your miniatures on the shelves. So this is my top 8 board games that you can play as a co-op game, you can play as a family game, or you can play by yourself, which is the main part about this. So we're going to start off with the collection from the Dungeons and Dragons range, which is from the WizKids games. And they have got 6 board games that are all solo play. So we're going to have a quick look at these boxes and what comes with the box. Very, very simple. And we'll start with number 8. So at number 8 we got Castle Raven Loft. Now this is an absolutely fantastic board game. Again, it's based on D&D. And of course it's a very simplified version of D&D. In fact, it's nothing like D&D. I mean, you got your D20 in there, and you're laying out the tiles, and you got cards. You have your spells and stuff, but it's definitely a very, very watered down version of a D&D game. But it's absolutely fantastic as a dungeon crawler, and you have all these monsters to battle out. And not only that, you get a huge collection of beautiful miniatures to paint. Now, this is what's fantastic about all these games I'm going to show you today, and that is you get a whole range of beautiful miniatures. Now, I'm not going to open up the boxes and show you all the miniatures, but what I will do is I'm going to show you a collection of the miniatures that came with this box that I've painted. It's just so you know the quality of these miniatures. Now, WizKids are not brilliant for their miniatures for sure, but these box sets, I am very, very impressed with the miniatures that came with the box sets. They're very, very nice miniatures to paint. So I'm going to quickly give you a little look at some of the miniatures from this actual box set, so you get an idea of what the miniatures can look like painted. These are the actual miniatures from the Raven Loft board game, and I've painted them up, and they're absolutely fantastic. Now, each miniature comes with the name of the actual miniature on the bottom, which is the flesh golem, and it's all a single, there's no sticking together, it's just these beautiful miniatures, and as you can see, they're all painted up and they look absolutely gorgeous. So when you buy these games, you get a lovely selection of miniatures that you can play in the games. So the games are complete. You can actually start your painting with these games, and of course you've actually got the games to play. And because they are single player, it doesn't matter if you've got no one else to play with. You can actually have your games and start straight away. It's absolutely fantastic. And as you can see, these the miniatures are really nice. So well done to WizKids for these games. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, so let's go back and I'll show you number 7. At number 7 we have the Legend of Drits. Again, this board games, all the board games, this next 6 board games I'm showing you, they're all exactly the same. So I'm just going to really show you the boxes. So this is again 1 to 5 players, and you get a whole host of beautiful miniatures, cards, and dungeon tiles that you place down in random order. Of course, 40 plastic heroes and monsters. I mean, 40 miniatures, that's a super amount of miniatures to paint and have for your collection. Now, if you actually start collecting, because what else you can do with these games is you've got there's a collection of 6 games, and you can actually combine all the games together. You can actually mix and match the tiles, the cards, the miniatures, so you'll end up with a whole host of miniatures and games that you can interact with every single game, and of course you can play it with solo player. So this is number 7, absolutely fantastic. In at number 6 we have Wrath of Asadon. Again, based on exactly the same board games, 1 to 5 players. Again, absolutely fantastic. This is more old school. They had 3 old school types. And of course you got the newer versions, which is like based really on 5th edition. And again, we got 42 plastic heroes, monsters, including a huge red dragon in this one. So again, awesome gameplay, and you can mix and match and add these to your other games to make it a huge campaign if you wanted to. The limit is up to you how you play these games. In at number 5 we have Temple of Elemental Evil. Now, as you can see, we got the red logo coming in now. This is the 5th edition official logos where they got the red there. Now all the games, like I say, they're simplified, super simplified rules of Dungeons and Dragons, but if you love Dungeons and Dragons, these are really the games to go for. They really do make you feel like you're playing the Dungeons and Dragons game. And of course, again, this one's got 42 plastic heroes and monsters, and you get your dice in there as well, but it's only a 20-sided dice. It's not like your D&D where you get all your dice. You're only using the 1 dice for practically everything in this game, and because it's so simplified, it's a very easy game to play with your family. My partner and I, we absolutely love playing this game. These games are my partner's favourite games to play with me, and we have a great time. We fight a lot, but and we die a lot. But it's an absolutely fantastic game to play as a couple or single or as a family. So highly recommended as a family game if you want to get your kids into D&D, just to push them along a little. And in at number 3 we have Tomb of Annihilation, the board game. Now the D&D actual campaign, I've played the campaign, the D&D campaign, and I didn't find it much fun. There was a lot of walking through the jungle. So the actual game itself, for the real D&D game, it was okay, but it wasn't my favourite campaign. But on saying that, the board game is absolutely fantastic, because again, you're mix and matching. You can play it with all the other characters. It's a single player game, up to 5 players, 1 to 5 players, and of course you get in all the beautiful miniatures of cards and dungeon tiles. Again, this one's got 42 plastic heroes, monsters and villains. I mean, 42 miniatures is absolutely wonderful for any game, and any collector of painted miniatures as well. You're going to absolutely adore these games, and if you're playing as a single player, I can guarantee you're going to actually have a lot of fun, because we do need these single player games, and the more that single player games that are released, the better in my book. And that's where the money is to be made, because there's so many people like myself that find it so difficult to find people to play their games with. Okay, so let's move on to my top 2 favourite solo player games. In number 2 we have Dungeon Saga Origins, the Legendary Edition by Mantic Games. Now, as you know, I've been doing a weekly paint on this beautiful board game by Mantic Games. It's simplified rules from the original Dungeon Saga, but it's an absolutely fantastic game. The miniatures are beautiful. It's an absolutely well designed, thought up, and absolutely wonderful. It comes with 96 highly detailed models. You're actually doubling the amount of miniatures from the last games that I've been showing you. It's 1 to 5 players. Again, you get all the expansions in here, and everything is absolutely fantastic. So highly recommended. you take a look at the Dungeon Saga Origins. If you want to know more about the Dungeon Saga Origins, then all you need to do is subscribe to my channel, because I do a weekly paint on Dungeon Saga Origins, and we'll be doing playtesting and playthroughs of Dungeon Saga Origins as I get all the miniatures painted. And I'll just show you a couple of miniatures painted from the box from the Dungeon Saga Origins. So these are a few of my favourite miniatures from the Dungeon Saga Origins. We got the wizard there, absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. Now these miniatures are a little bit bigger from the original Dungeon Saga. These are more 32mm. We got the barbarian, absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. And of course we have the dwarf as well. Absolutely beautiful sculpts and miniatures from Mantic Games, and well done to them, because absolutely love these board games. So let's go and move to my #1 favourite game. Now remember, this is my opinion, we all have our own favourite games. Now this one is my favourite game. Okay, so this is my all-time favourite single player game. And it is actually from Mantic Games. Now on the box there, it's the Dungeon Saga, the Dwarf King's Quest. Now I'll talk a little bit about this game. It says on the box there 2 to 5 players, but you actually get a source book as well. You can get a source book, and you can actually play single player rules, so that's just deceiving on the front of the box. It's not the easiest to play single player. Now the reason why I'm saying it's the best is because it's very modular. You can do whatever you want with the game. It comes with all the books and everything. Loads and loads of expansions. Loads of absolutely beautiful miniatures. And this box set, these are like pure 28mm miniatures compared to the new Dungeon Saga Origins, which are 32mm. But what I love about Dungeon Saga, the Dwarf King's Quest, again, is it's modular, where you can change and add your own rules. Now, my partner and I have played this a lot, and we've actually changed different rules from the actual game, and it's made it into a better game for us. And as a solo player game, you can change things in the actual manuals on how you play your game, and it actually works in your favour. But you can make so many things. You don't have to stay in the dungeons. You can go outside. You can make a tavern. You got all these different things, and you can advance your characters. I just found it a very if you're into D&D and you're into your RPGs, what you'll find with Dungeon Saga, the Dwarf King's Quest, is you can do so much with this game. But you've really got to use your imagination. I highly recommend it. It's my own personal favourite. If you are just with your family and you just want to play a quick board game, then pick the other 7. I picked this one. It's a bit more advanced and a little bit harder to get into, but that's just what I personally like. It really grabs you and takes you in. And if you use your imagination, you can actually make a whole campaign just with this box set and all the expansions as well as. And of course the miniatures are absolutely beautiful. This is one of the miniatures here. Let me give you a little bit of focus. This is from one of the expansions there, and absolutely beautiful miniatures. I absolutely adore these Mantic Games miniatures from Mantic Games. Absolutely wonderful. So there we are. That's my top 8 favourite board games, which you are able to play single player. They're also absolutely adorable playing in with 2 players, with a family of 5, a family of 4. I've not tried that, but definitely for a 2-player game and a single player game, you cannot go wrong with these boxes of beautiful games and miniatures. So until next time.